T2 Sagittal 3 mm SFOV. Plan the sagittal slices on the axial plane and angle the positioning block parallel to the line along the linea alba and median sacral crest. Verify the positioning block in the other two planes. In the coronal plane, an appropriate angle must be given, which should be parallel to the lumbosacral spine. Make sure that the slices cover the entire pelvis, from the right acetabulum to the left acetabulum. The field of view, FOV, should be sufficiently large to encompass the entire pelvis, typically ranging from 250 mm to 300 mm.
T2 Stir Coronal. Plan the large field of view, FOV coronal slices on the sagittal plane and position the block parallel to the lumbar spine. The positioning block should also be checked in the other two planes. An appropriate angle needs to be established in the axial plane, which runs parallel to the right and left hip joint. The slices must be sufficient to cover the entire abdomen and pelvis, ranging from the anterior abdominal wall to the sacrum. The FOV must be large enough to cover the abdomen and pelvis, typically 250 mm to 300 mm. Large FOV scans are usually performed to evaluate the local spread of the pathology and assess the para-aortic and pre-sacral nodes.
T2 Axial. Plan the large field of view axial slices on the coronal plane. Position the block parallel to the line along the right and left iliac crest. The positioning block should also be checked in the other two planes. An appropriate angle needs to be established in the sagittal plane, which is perpendicular to the lumbar spine. The slices must be sufficient to cover the entire lower abdomen and pelvis, ranging from the middle of the kidneys down to the symphysis pubis. The FOV should be large enough to cover the entire pelvis, typically ranging from 250 mm to 300 mm. Adding saturation bands on top of the axial block can help reduce artifacts caused by arterial pulsation and breathing. Large field of view scans are usually performed to evaluate the para-aortic and pre-sacral nodes. Indications for MRI female pelvis endometrial scans. For the evaluation of pelvic floor defects associated with urinary or fecal incontinence. Prior to a myomectomy, hysterectomy, or uterine artery embolization. For the evaluation and staging of fallopian tube malignancies. For the evaluation of a congenital anomaly of female pelvis. For the evaluation and staging of soft tissue origin sarcomas. For the evaluation and staging of endometrial malignancies. For the evaluation of recurrence of tumors. For the evaluation of pelvic pain or mass. Vaginal bleeding. Contraindications for endometrial MRI scans. Any electrically, magnetically, or mechanically activated implant, such as a cardiac pacemaker, insulin pump, biostimulator, neurostimulator, cochlear implant, and hearing aids. Intracranial aneurysm clips, unless made of titanium. Pregnancy, risk versus benefit ratio to be assessed. Ferromagnetic surgical clips or staples. Metallic foreign body in the eye. Metal shrapnel or bullet.
Patient preparation for endometrial MRI scans. A satisfactory written consent form must be taken from the patient before entering the scanner room. Ask the patient to remove all metal objects, including keys, coins, wallet, cards with magnetic strips, jewelry, ear aid, and hairpins. Ask the patient to undress and change into a hospital gown. Contrast and Buscopan injection risk and benefits must be explained to the patient before the scan. Gadolinium should only be given to the patient if GFR is greater than 30.
An intravenous line must be placed with extension tubing extending out of the magnetic bore. Claustrophobic patients may be accompanied into the scanner room, e.g. by staff member or relative, with proper safety screening. Offer earplugs or headphones, possibly with music, for extra comfort. Explain the procedure to the patient and answer questions. Note down the weight of the patient.